Okay.
Okay.
So really happy to be back with Avalon and Matt. And Kami just had a little bite of a nipple.
Yeah.
But let's just start with the heart. Let's come into a
Mm.
deeper resonance and that may just calm me down to just have feeling like he's included. So let's just take a moment and just take a few breaths. Just relaxing our bodies and tuning into the fluidity of our energy field, our water, inner waters, our womb waters. I'm just beginning with breaths of gratitude and how we are showing up here, how we've each played our parts. We want to bring into this energy field the Sacred Evolutionary Dowsing Consortium, all those that have grown so much and gifted so much to these 12 weeks. I'm feeling them in the circle in this beautiful geometric patterning of the 12 around 1 and fully aligned with the pulse of creation as we've been working on this land and allowing the layers to be revealed. I'm just feeling our energy and attention going down, connecting with Mother Earth and all that she's given to the nature spirits and elementals and Deva of this land and home and school. I just really feel like saying that name, just bringing grounded traditions into, and all the children into the space. And the children past and present, and elders past and present that have been on this land, and future ancestors and elders, children and grandchildren. And we give great thanks to the ocean that surrounds this land and all benevolent beings. And our seen and unseen spirit helpers that are here and still guiding and still moving and still supporting this empowered presence. I'm just opening to connect with the great central sun and beautiful star nation, our light-bearing ancestors. Continuing to bring any information and for Avalon's key line to bring her exactly what she needs. We just thank you and take another breath, extended breath, and just bringing that into the heart, our sacred chamber of the heart. And we honor all of our guides and guidance, masters and teachers, angels and archangels, and the animal totems that have been present during this time and will continue to be present. Plant nation, winged ones, two-leggeds and four-leggeds. And as we open the records, we just ask simply to continue bringing this information down to support the school, the family, and all the friends that are supporting the beauty and being of this beautiful, generative gift. I'm just coming back into center, and we would love to hear from you. That's better.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, really.
I feel like we've gotten our space back, which has been such a huge shift from like when we started, and how lost I felt in this whole space, and how much chaos that brought on many levels, including with the school and the kids, and like, you know, arrival and drop off would be chaotic, and the actual school day would be chaotic, and you know, in every facet, even, you know, finishing school and trying to clean things up, and just always feeling like we were treading water. And then slowly over this process of the dowsing, it's been this like lowering of the water to find that solid ground again. And everything has kind of flowed with that. There's been, you know, the children have been, you know, I mean, they're always wonderful, but they've been much more receptive. Even though their energy has remained high, they have been much more in flow. The way we do things has been much more in flow. And the general energy of the house itself and being inside of the house is so much more peaceful and homely, and it definitely feels like our heart is back in this home and not outside of the home. It's been really nice. Even out in the backyard, it's just the garden, and sitting out there feels much more serene, and just beautiful. Very many little beautiful things have happened since we've started, that when, like, in reflection, looking back upon everything, is just been a culmination of all the work that you guys have put into this space. And now, yeah, we are back in this. It's like when we first moved into this house, and how peaceful it was then as well. It feels the same. Energy is flowing, creativity is flowing, love is flowing. The ability to maneuver and deal with hardship flows a lot easier. And the children are much more receptive to all of those things as well. So it's been nice.
Yeah, I have to agree on many levels that, reflecting back to the beginning when we first met you, Shelley, and you first arrived here in our home, and the state that we were in at the time, and the disconnection we'd felt from this land for quite some time, which we'd formed a very strong bond with in the beginning, has definitely kind of reconnected. We've felt that we've had this appreciation for where we are, and this almost like a symbiotic, just like a reciprocal relationship between us and the home. We want to take care of it. We want to look after it. We feel, well, I personally feel that the energy behind me looking after this home has increased again, and the joy to actually be proud of it and to look after it in the same way. And I find that the energy in response to that is giving at the same time.
It's like we look after the house, and the house looks after us in return.
Yeah. So there's joy, just an undercurrent of joy coming back into the space and into the home, from front to back. From front yard, and the reciprocity, like the way we receive even neighbors coming through is different, and the attraction down towards our home again, as well as to the backyard and in the garden space, and cleaning that up again and getting back into looking at that land and holding it in the fires that we've been able to hold since here.
and the resilience. Like, you know, we still have the job site next door and the road works happening at the end of the street, which start up at nighttime, but it doesn't feel so overbearing and overwhelming anymore. It feels like this space is so much more resilient to those outside forces, and that we are, you know, resilient as well as being completely sheltered and cocooned by the strength of the house and the property. It's been really nice. And I don't know if Kate told you, but the guy next door is gone now. He ended up leaving, and so that just added another layer of just like being able to breathe deeply and feel more free in our home and be able to move more freely, which has been really so nice.
Yeah, that's a really interesting part of the journey that happened. And really, and from I did hear, and what I felt from that was that he was moving into what he really needed, the care he really needed. So it was an uplifting for him. I even though, you know, I might not have looked at it like that in the beginning, but it definitely was. So I just, that was incredible. Yeah. So,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did not believe you when you said that in the beginning. Not believe you that I was like, I don't think that guy's going anywhere. And then I was away like recently for 10 days and I had no contact with Matt except for a couple of text messages. And one night I had enough reception to call him, and that just happened to be the same night that he got taken away. And it just changed. Yeah, it was such a, like, I could just breathe deeply and really drop into what I was doing there and come home knowing that I was, you know, at peace. And also after returning from being away for 10 days, despite like without him, and what was going on with the next door neighbor, this house just felt so nice. Like, I don't know if I mentioned it to you or Kate, but I really wanted to get this place back to how it felt around the time Kami was born, which was 2 years ago. And coming back into the house that night that I arrived home felt exactly like that. It was just this beautiful, serene, like womb space that I was able to step back into, and I hadn't felt that since the night Kami was born. And so yeah, that was just such a nice thing to be received by.
cool. Great. So let it continue. Maybe it would be great. So if you could just share, because just for the sake of everyone who's listening, you know, we talked about, at the very end, we brought Deborah Harnett in and the feng shui. And what Deborah and I have always understood is that there's this marriage in heaven between the feng shui and the dowsing, and that the dowsing takes care of certain things, and then the feng shui as well. And so, but when you bring them together, I've always said it's like a portal to heaven. It does create this really beautiful experience. So if there's anything that you want to share in regard specifically to the feng shui, like how that added to whatever the experience was, and then maybe some highlights, or where you are with
I
that.
think it was really nice to like to be an active member as well, like being given the tasks, like really motivated Matt and I, and we've been knocking them off. We've pretty much done them all now, except for obviously the fence is something we can't do until the job site's finished, but that's getting closer to being done. And it's just been really nice to be active in the healing of this house as well. Not that we weren't to start with, but to be physically active in it, and doing things around the house has been really nice, and bringing more color into the house. And yeah, we've definitely noticed, like you said, the marriage of the two just made everything more potent and was really beautiful. So yeah, I'm excited to get the last few things done.
I would just say that through bringing the awareness to the home and shifting things for me personally, because I've always tried to move things around to feel, whether that was my internal world that needed adjusting, and I would do it through my physical home and move things around to see if the flow would benefit my inner world. And not quite, almost knowing that this arrangement would, you know, I never thought it would work, and then to shift it and do things in the way that actually had the understanding behind it. Once we moved them into place, the flow, just the shift in comfort, the shift in feeling held, the vulnerability disappeared. And I think she was quite right. When you are held in your home by the mountain or by the wall, you know, in these ways, these beautiful metaphors, you feel this sense of protection and comfort inside your space. Whereas when you're in this sort of obscure arrangement that's not really holding you well, you're not feeling protected. You feel vulnerable and you feel exposed. So making these subtle shifts, and even putting the mirrors and bringing the energy and being conscious about how to draw the energy into the home so the flow moves, making those subtle shifts and trying to be then feel into how that shift felt, and not just think like, oh, I've done this, of course it's going to feel right. So no, how does this actually feel now that I'm opening these lines through to the home? And at first there was a couple nights of like, whoa, okay, things are kind of changing, and you could feel it in your dream space, and things are a bit turbulent, and having to shift and adjust to sleeping patterns that you'd been used to, and then softening, and then it's suddenly you finding balance in that again and going, actually, I'm getting better. This is actually feeling a lot better now as things are landing, and just a sense of beautiful flow and peace as it comes through. You come through the home and you move into the home, and you can feel that energy, whether you move through the back door and the alleyway is clear, and you can feel that cleanliness coming through and wanting to welcome you into the backyard.
We've had lots of people comment on that as well who don't know what we've been doing. Coming into the space and being like, wow, it feels so different in here. It's so nice. And like Matt said before, neighbors who used to come and visit us often and didn't for a very long time, and now coming back down and visiting us for no reason except for they're just being attracted back to our area, even though we're still next to this gigantic job site. So yeah, it's been really nice.
Yeah,
I love that. That attractor field starts, that light starts expanding, and it does change our neighbors. And that was one of the most amazing things that I would watch time and time and again. Either the ones that needed to go would leave, and then other ones would start showing up. Like I remember the very first time I ever did the dowsing and some feng shui, I was just like, oh my God, the people that were yelling, would be like coming over and bringing plants, or, like, wow. And I, time and time again. Yeah. So it's really interesting. So, wow. Well, that's really beautiful. Thank you so much. And, all right, we will share this with the consortium, and they're going to be really happy, and we'll talk a little bit more after this. So yeah, I'm just going to shut this recording. So thank you both so much for saying yes to this experience. And this, for those that are listening, this was a 12-week experience and still ongoing. So we'll be checking here and there. Okay, great.
Yeah.